They all came out of a fire that occurred in the western end of my district in Sherman and Wasco counties last summer. It was called the Substation Fire. And at the time it was burning, it was the largest fire in the United States at that time. It was subsequently eclipsed by some much larger fires, both in Oregon and nationally. But it burned over 80,000 acres, of which a large percentage of that was wheat ground in Sherman County. Excuse me. I was invited by the governor to attend their debriefing, and one of the things that was loud and clear is these professional firefighters from all of the United States who were assigned to that particular fire. In the debriefing, they talked about and praised the local farmers in the local rural fire protection districts. 2 towns had to be evacuated, but the towns were saved, and it avoided what was later the tragedy in Paradise, California, where the town burned. But it was because of the farmers and the ranchers and the rural fire districts that put the fires out, got the brakes up, and the other firefighters that had come had nothing but praise. And they were primarily forest firefighters, and so wildlands was a little bit different for them. And they were smart enough to let the farmers do what they've been doing for decades. So we had a debriefing town hall kind of meeting in August, because out of that came some opportunities to improve and to do something better as we look forward to the future. Excuse me. And out of that came 4 bills. Senate Bill 290, as it's now called, was what we're basically calling a Good Samaritan bill. And that is, if a rancher farmer, as have been done, I grew up on a wheat ranch myself, and we would go fight fire when we saw smoke on the horizon, the neighbor's field, we would shut down and go help. But if a farmer does that in good faith, and maybe plows the wrong place or something like that, that should have been done in a different way, if they responded in good faith, they're not going to be held liable. That's what that bill is. It'd be similar to someone stopping with a vehicle alongside the road that wrecks. There are Good Samaritan bills on the books right now that if you respond and try to help and things don't go exactly as you would have liked them to be, you're not held liable if you responded in good faith and you were trying to. The Good Samaritan. Senate Bill 311, there's about 400,000 acres on the Deschutes Canyon side of, both sides of the Deschutes River in Wasco County and in Sherman County, where the fire really got out of hand. And part of the reason it got out of hand was it's what's called unprotected land. No one was responsible for it, and so it burned and it got hot and it was traveling very fast. Had we been able to respond to it quicker, if somebody had responsibility or they could have responded to it, it would have been great. So this bill is kind of a site-specific, but putting those 400,000 acres of unprotected land under the state fire marshal's purview. Senate Bill 291 is more of a resource type thing, so we can get quicker response, particularly air support, and how we can go about doing that. And Senate Bill 292 is with the state fire marshal expanding some of their capabilities to respond quicker. When the fire's burning, we've got to be able to get on it, get it put out quickly. And sometimes because of the nature of the bureaucracy, it takes too long to get a response. And working its way through different agencies or different people. So we're trying to streamline that so we can get the resources we need as quickly as possible to stop the fire when it's still stoppable. And that's kind of the nature of these bills. They all came out of that meeting. It all came out of the meeting with rural firefighters from a multi-county area in my district. And we've worked with the Wheat League to work together on putting together these rangeland fires. We pretty well have the protocols down for forest fires, but wildfires in cropland and/or rangeland, we felt that we could do something, and that's what those bills attempt to do.